In this presentation, I will share the experience of NBSEH as a Diamond Open Access Journal. Our aim is to strengthen the visibility, interoperability, and overall quality of scholarly communication while contributing to a more connected and inclusive research ecosystem. Allow me to briefly introduce myself. My name is Nadia Boutaleb. I am Professor of Agri-Food and Environmental Sciences at the Faculty of Sciences and Technologies in Mohammedia, part of Hassan, the Second University of Casablanca, Morocco. I serve as Chair of the Editorial Board of Natural Built Social Environment Health, NBSEH, a Diamond Open Access peer-reviewed journal published by the ISPITS, the Moroccan Association for Sciences and Techniques of the Environment and Health, where I also serve as Vice President. I am also a Crossref ambassador for Morocco and the MENA region, helping journals and institutions to strengthen their scholarly metadata practices and DOI workflows. Natural Built Social Environment Health Journal, NBSEH, was launched in January 2025 as bi-monthly. The journal focuses on the relationships between natural, built, and social environments and human health, covering topics such as biodiversity, climate change, urban planning, housing, transport infrastructure, and building design. At NBSEH, our editorial workflow is fully digital, metadata-driven, and managed through open journal systems. Metadata are integrated throughout the editorial process, from submission to publication and DOI registration. This ensures that our content is discoverable, indexable, and reusable across global scholarly platforms and enables interoperability with infrastructures such as Crossref. We place a strong emphasis on metadata quality and standardization, including DOIs, ORCID identifiers, and structured affiliations. This approach is particularly important for strengthening the visibility of research from the MENA region. At NBSEH, we do not simply manage metadata, we protect their integrity. No uncontrolled modifications, no data loss, and no errors in DOIs, authors, and affiliations. As a result, research remains reliable and traceable over time. At NBSEH, our editorial workflow is structured around open science and the FAIR principles. As illustrated here, we apply these principles directly in practice. We make articles findable through rich metadata and DOIs, accessible through our Diamond Open Access model, interoperable by using persistent identifiers such as DOI, ORCID, and ROR, and reusable through clear licensing and well-structured citation formats. So, how the editorial workflow is structured at NBSEH? I can briefly describe our workflow in 6 main steps. Step 1, submission. Authors submit their articles through the OGS platform, where they enter key metadata such as author names, affiliations, ORCID identifiers, title, abstracts, keywords, and references. Sometimes articles are sent directly to the editor, and the metadata are then entered into the platform by the editorial team. Step 2, initial editorial screening. At this stage, we verify the article's scope, check that it complies with ethics, and perform similarity checks. We also review the completeness and consistency of the metadata, including ORCID identifiers and institutional affiliations. Step 3, double-blind peer review. The editor-in-chief manages the reviewer selection and ensures that articles are anonymized before being sent for evaluation, so that reviewers assess only the scientific content. Step 4, copy editing and metadata enhancements. During revision, we follow British English grammar and spelling, verify references and DOIs, validate ORCID identifiers, and align institutional affiliations using persistent identifiers such as ROR. Step 5, production and DOI registration. The article is now fully prepared for publication and has been assigned a Crossref DOI. Structured XML files are generated incorporating complete and standardized metadata in accordance with Crossref specifications. These metadata are deposited directly via the OGS platform or submitted through the Crossref deposit system, ensuring accurate indexing, interoperability, and long-term discoverability. Step 6, post-publication metadata services. After publication, the metadata deposited with Crossref continue in a sense to work for the article. They allow references to be automatically linked to cited articles when DOIs are available, enable automatic updates of authors' ORCID records, and improve the visibility and interconnection of publications across the scholarly ecosystem. One may ask how and where scholarly metadata are used. At NBSEH, scholarly metadata play a central role throughout the entire editorial and publication workflow. Metadata are integrated from the moment an article is submitted to the journal and continue to be used after publication to ensure discoverability, interoperability, and long-term accessibility of the research outputs. Within the OGS platform used by NBSEH, version 33019, metadata are collected and structured at several stages of the editorial process. These include information such as the article title, author names, affiliations, ORCID identifiers when available, abstracts, keywords, references, finding information, and licensing details. Once an article is accepted and prepared for publication, these metadata are incorporated into structured Crossref compatible XML files. The XML records are then deposited with Crossref using the journal's DOI prefix, ensuring that each article receives a persistent identifier and that its metadata become parts of the global scholarly communication infrastructure. Through this process, the metadata of NBSEH articles are used in several ways. Persistent identification through DOI registration with Crossref, scholarly discovery via indexing system, academic search engines, and metadata harvesting services, citation linking, allowing references to be connected with other scholarly publications, Interoperability, enabling integration with research infrastructures such as ORCID, ROR identifiers, and library catalogs. And finally, long-term accessibility and archiving, ensuring that articles remain discoverable and traceable within the global research ecosystem. By maintaining structured and high-quality metadata, NBSEH supports open science principles and contributes to the transparency, accessibility, and integrity of scholarly communication. The Crossref reports clearly shows that NBSEH is already well aligned with international standards and actively progressing towards global indexing. We have strong indicators, a high coverage of affiliations, ORCID IDs, references, and 100% compliance in key areas such as licensing and text mining. This means that NBSEH is not only publishing research, it is ensuring that this research is visible, accessible, and reusable. At the same time, the report highlights important opportunities for improvement, particularly in funding, metadata, and crossmark implementation. These are strategic areas. Including funder information strengthens transparency and international visibility. And crossmark, very simply, it is a trust label. It tells readers that the article they are consulting is current and reliable. So today, NBSEH stands as a solid, standards compliant journal, and tomorrow, with these targeted improvements, it can position itself as a fully optimized international journal. And thank you for your attention.